Welcome to our educational module on professionalism and self-regulation. We will begin by defining a profession, professionalism, and how these definitions apply to our professions. We will then review the concept of self-regulation and discuss the roles of Paganel, professional members and permit holders in a self-regulating environment. Engineering and geoscience professions are very diverse, not only in terms of the types of work that the professions perform, but also the variety of work environments involved. While workplace environments can vary greatly, the general principles of professionalism must not. Regardless of your work environment, you must always be aware of how your words and actions impact not only people's perception of you personally, but how they can impact the perception of your profession as a whole. In reading this definition of a profession from Webster's dictionary, most would likely agree that it applies to engineering and geoscience professions. We certainly have specialized knowledge. The programs are definitely long and intense, and Paganel is the organization that enforces high standards of ethical and professional conduct. Our mandatory professional development program covers the continued study commitment. But what about the prime purpose being the rendering of public service? Let's look a little closer at that one. When we speak about the prime purpose being the rendering a public service, our experience is that not all engineers and geoscientists fully understand this obligation. To give you a flavor of why we say this, consider the following question. Why did you choose engineering or geoscience as a career? Would it be because 1. You thought it would be interesting? 2. Perhaps you were attracted to the fieldwork or potential travel? 3. Maybe you were good at math and science? 4. Perhaps you had a family member in the professions? 5. You likely thought you would find a good job at a decent salary with growth potential? Or 6. Was it because you wanted to perform a public service? Let's do a quick survey and have you place a check mark next to any or all that apply to you. While the reasons for entering the profession may vary, few would select serving the public. You need to realize that as professional engineers and geoscientists, we serve the public interest. Your prime ethical obligation, as noted in the first tenet of the PEG-NL Code of Ethics, is to hold paramount the safety, health, and welfare of the public. Now that you understand that we are members of a profession and that we render a public service, let's look at the concept of professionalism and how it ties into our public service. So, what exactly is professionalism and why is it important? The dictionary definition is shown on the slide, but professionalism is simply a standard of professional behavior. Here is a quotation from Engineers Canada that we have paraphrased to include geoscientists. This explains why professionalism is important in the engineering and geoscience professions. I'll give you a few seconds to read it. It is the last sentence that truly speaks to the why. Your daily individual actions have the ability to influence the reputation of the professions as a whole. We think that's a pretty powerful statement. What this statement reminds us, and you must always keep this in mind, is that you must uphold the highest level of professionalism at all times and in all situations. The way you behave and present yourself will be noticed and remembered by more people than you realize. As a professional, you need to understand that while your daily interactions with people reflect on you individually, they also, by association, reflect on your profession as a whole. The need to act with professionalism is actually codified in the Paganel Code of Ethics bylaw. Under the fifth tenet, 1.2e, as shown here, professional engineers and geoscientists must conduct themselves with equity, fairness, courtesy, and good faith towards clients, colleagues, and others. And under subsection 2.1 of the same bylaw, professional misconduct is defined as, among other things, conduct that harms or tends to harm the standing of the professions generally. Let's look at a hypothetical example to see how well the concept is understood. Please read the scenario on the slide and then click play to proceed. The correct answer is C. Contact Walter to present his views and determine his response. Acting professionally requires that you give others the opportunity to explain their reasonings and assumptions before you pass judgment on their work. The town may have instructed Walter to add the generators as a safety net, and it may not have been his idea. Even if it was his idea, professional courtesy would dictate that you hear the explanation behind it. If you listen to the reasoning and you decide you still have concerns, you should then advise him that you intend to bring the issue up with the town. You should invite him to attend the meeting, to present his views. If you still have concerns having heard all sides of the argument, only then should you avail of a public forum,